Let's now look at some general mathematical problems. They are such that they are very challenging. You cannot look at them at the very first sight and know how to go about them. You need to be a critical thinker or a problem solver before you can work them out. Let's take some examples. Given that A over B is equal to C over D, find an expression for A over A plus B. So, like I said, you need to think very carefully before you can solve this question. We have A over B is equal to C over D. So you need to be very creative over here. So let's say, you see they said A over A plus B. So what we can do is to find an expression for A and find an expression for A plus B. Then we divide the two of them. No one will tell you to do that. You need to look at the question and reason that way. So this implies that A is equal to, we are multiplying both sides by B. So A is equal to BC or CB over D. Let's call this equation 1. Now we add A to both sides. So we add B to both sides. So we have A plus B is equal to CB over D plus B. So we added B to both sides. Now we can simplify this further. That's the right hand side. It becomes CB over, so we are collecting LCM. The LCM is D, so this one is like B over 1. So 1 goes into D, D times B, we get BD. So we can still factor the B out. So we get A plus B is equal to B into bracket C plus D over D. Let's call this equation 2. So now we divide equation 1 by equation 2. So this will give us A over A plus B to be equal to, we are dividing CB over D over B into bracket C plus D over D. So we have CB over D all over B into bracket C plus D over D. So we simplify this further again to obtain A over A plus B is equal to CB over B into bracket C plus D. So this cancels this and we obtain C over C plus D. The right hand of a clock moved from 12 to 4. So this, you know, the 12 is here and 4 is somewhere here. If the length of the minute hand, so let's see the movement, it moves from 12 to 4. So the 4 is here, the 12 is here. If the length of the minute hand is 3.5 centimeters, so this is 3.5 centimeters. Find the area covered by the minute hand. So no one will tell you that you should use your knowledge from circles. So what they are looking for is the angle over here or the area of this shaded region, the area of this sector. That is what you are looking for. Find the area covered by the minute hand. So you are looking for this area, and that is the area of a sector. So we can decide to find the angle over here, then use theta over 360 to find the area of the shaded region, which is the sector. But there is a shorter approach that we can use. That is, we find the area of the whole circle, then we use ratio to determine the area of this. Now the area of the full circle is given by pi r squared, and this is equal to 22/7 times 3.5 squared, and this is equal to 38.5 centimeters squared. Now we know the full circle corresponds to 12 hours. That means if the minute hand moved up to 12 is 12 hours, but that of from moving from 12 to 4 is only 4 hours. So the 12 corresponds to 38.5, which is the area of the full circle, and the 4 corresponds to the area of the sector that we don't know, which is x. Area of the sector must be less than the area of the circle. So if less, more divides. So area of the sector, which is x, is equal to 4 times 38.5 over 12, and this will give us 12.83. So the correct answer is D. A tin of rice is consumed by n boys in 8 days. When 3 more boys join them, the rice lasts only 6 days. Find n if the rate of consumption is uniform. So from the question, n corresponds to 8 and n plus 3 corresponds to 6. But let's make it x, and we know this x is actually 6. So if n boys, it took them 8 days, then n plus 3 boys will take them less days. So if less, more divides. So we are going to get 8n over n plus 3 is equal to x. And we know this x is actually 6. So we have 6 is equal to 8n over n plus 3. So we now solve for n by cross multiplying. So we now expand. So this implies that 6n plus 18 is equal to 8n. So we group like terms to obtain 2n is equal to 18 and n is equal to 9. The sum of two numbers is 72. The difference between the numbers is 26. Find a smaller number. So over here we have to use our understanding that if you subtract a smaller number from a bigger one, you get a positive result. So we choose two numbers and specify them. So we let the smaller number be x, let the smaller number be x, and the bigger number be y, and the bigger number be y. So if that is the case, and the bigger number be y, if that is the case, then their sum, that is x plus y, is equal to 72. Then their difference, so you have to be careful over here because y is greater, so we get y minus s equal 26. If you take the other way around, you get it wrong. So we now solve equation 1 and equation 2. So let's call this equation 1 and 2. So equation 1 minus equation 2 implies that x minus x, which is 2x, is equal to 72 minus 26, and that will give us 46. Therefore x is equal to 23. If the product of two consecutive odd numbers is 195, find their sum. So consecutive odd numbers, let x be an even number. So if x is an even number, we can make x odd by adding 1 or the first two odd numbers, which is 1 and 3. So x plus 1 will be odd and x plus 3 will also be odd. And these two odd numbers are consecutive. So the question says their product. So x plus 1 into x plus 3 is equal to 195. So we expand to obtain x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 195. So x squared plus 4x, we group like terms to obtain minus 192 equals 0. So we factor this to obtain x minus 12 into x plus 16 is equal to 0. X is either equal to 12 or negative 16, but x is positive, so x equal 12. So we sub them here to get 12 plus 1 and 12 plus 3. So x is either 13 or 15. The consecutive numbers are 13, 15. So if we add 13 and 15, we are going to get 28.